All right, this is going to go through a movement that I use a lot, and it's focused on very lightly engaging these deeper layers of muscle called your deep neck flexors and pulling the chin down against your throat. So if you think about kind of undesirable posture, it's typically something we think about to be like this, where my chin has drifted away from my throat, and you can see this creates quite a bit of compression with the base of my skull against the top of my neck. So this is an area that becomes sensitive on a lot of people. A lot of people have upper trap and pain through here, right? And really the big issue is that as my head drifts forward, not only does it compress this area, but it puts a lot of stress on the muscles in the back of my neck as my head leans this way. So this movement is basically just the opposite of that, pulling the chin into the throat. You'll notice that this also kind of pulls a little bit upward on the base of my skull, almost like a self-traction of this area. You may feel some pulling or stretching through here, which is not a bad thing. Now, in the grand scheme of how I instruct this movement, if you're really sensitive or really tight, the easiest thing to do is just to very lightly tuck your chin against your throat and relax. It's just a gentle nodding motion. I'm not holding, I'm not straining very hard, but if someone's really painful or sensitive here, if they really jam this too hard, it'll hurt. So just starting the process with this light little nod is something that could very easily be done a lot throughout the day and not be super threatening to put too much pressure here. Really good also if I'm sitting at a desk and I'm typing or I'm on a mouse, really easy thing to do periodically is to sit back and do these little gentle nods to try and break up the buildup of pressure and compression that occurs as I'm here for long periods throughout the day. So that's option one. Now to take it a little further, I'll take my hands behind my head, right? And my hands become a portable headrest that I can create that same light tuck of my chin, right? And I'm just taking this hand away so you can see, but both hands would be here. And then I just very lightly tuck my chin. I get that same lift up on the base of my skull, and I lightly push back into this hand. Now I really try to watch as I push back. I don't want to go into this where I'm just recreating that compression. So I want to keep my chin slightly down and just lightly push my head back over my shoulders, and that'll stretch and elongate this even a little bit more. It's nice if I have a hard back chair that I can rest against, so that as I push back, I can almost let myself lean into the crease of that chair. If someone doesn't have a chair like this, it's also something that you could do at home, sitting on the floor. So this would maybe be like the edge of my couch or the edge of a chair, and same thing, I would just lightly tuck my chin. I'm just taking this away so you can see, and I press back into the ridge of that chair. So the opposite of this bad forward head posture, right? Typically my mid back is rounded forward and this is compressed. So I'm decompressing this with that tuck of the chin, and I'm actually pushing into the ridge of that chair to get my forward posture to extend a little bit over this edge and take some pressure off of this, which is kind of the position it tends to be in most of the day. This also works well in the car. The car, even without your hands, you have the headrest of the seat here. So even without using my hands, pretending that my headrest of my seat sits here, it's that same just light tuck of the chin and push back. Common faults are people start to do this either where they look down, which is not what I'm doing, or they do it too aggressively, right? It's not as hard as I can to where my head is trembling. It's just this very light chin into your throat, right? Sometimes even just taking a finger here and kind of guiding that chin back, right? Just to feel this light lift of the base of your head away from your neck. Very easy thing to do throughout the day to try and offset the fact that everybody's going to end up here at some point. That buildup of this pressure throughout the day is usually what culminates in pain. So if I could do, 5 of these for 5 seconds every hour, that may stop this from getting so irritable. So it's a great proactive thing to do. It's easy.